What does this say?
We supply America.
What do we think? That sounded pretty good. What do we do?
We supply America.
I'm impressed. I'm very proud of you all. So I'm going to be saying that. I'm going to be pointing to that sign kind of throughout the day here, the morning here. So make sure you do your part, okay? It's with great pleasure that I'm going to introduce our next speaker, my friend and your fearless leader of District 1, Mr. Donnie Blatt. Thank you, Donnie.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming out on this morning. I mean, it's kind of overcast. Hopefully the rain's going to hold off. Nobody's going to get wet. Nobody's going to melt because we know sugar melts, right, when it gets wet. I want to thank our international leadership for being here. We had invited some distinguished guests that couldn't show up, but we're going to send them the video. And so I want to thank our distinguished guests on the video for taking the time to watch our video. But most importantly, I want to thank you all for being here. This is our We Supply America campaign, I guess our press conference or our rally. And this is about you. It's not about anybody else. It's about us. It's about our jobs. It's about what we do. Because we know here in Ohio how important it is and how important infrastructure investment is in our economy, right? So just a few statistics. It's estimated that Ohio drivers will lose about $4.7 billion each year due to lost time and waste fuel on clogged highways. Our bridges and our dams and our structural our infrastructure has concerns. And it's estimated we'll lose about 35% of water in our water systems due to breaks in pipes that aren't fixed for the guys at McWayne Ductile, right? 35%. That's huge in our country. Our state's infrastructure is not alone. Bridges, roads, water systems, the electric grid, buildings, broadband, all needs rebuilt and built clear across this nation. But we can change this, and the steelworkers here in Ohio are here to help. We make materials right here that can be used to rebuild America. And while we're talking about all this, I want to thank our host locals for hosting us here today. That's Local 4T, 105T, and 525. These members work at Hall of Fame right behind us, and there's all. You guys raise your hands. Thank you guys for hosting us. We appreciate that. These folks make the lighting that we use to light our roads as we travel around the state of Ohio and around the country, and we appreciate the work that you do. But we do a lot more here in the state of Ohio as well. We make steel and other components that goes into vehicles and aircrafts that carry freight and carry people across the country. We work for oil and gas companies that provide fuel to help heat Americans' homes and to get people from one place to another. We make critical components for our highway systems, our electrical grid, appliances, and transportation infrastructure. And for the guys at 1237 PCA, we make packaging for the shipping, right? And we transport materials that we need for this infrastructure. Those are just some of the things that we do. I'm not talking about workers outside the steelworkers. I'm talking about this is what steelworkers do. This is the things that we make to rebuild this infrastructure. The steelworkers in Ohio also support the nation's social infrastructure by working in healthcare and the public sector. We got Mike Bliss here from Local 9110. Mike, where are you at? Right here. Mike and his members, they plow the roads in the winters and they cut the grass in the parks in the summer. And we also have steelworkers that work as dispatchers in police departments. So we do a lot, and we represent a cross section of this economy, and we do a huge amount of work to make sure that our economy runs. So as you can see, we're ready to resupply America, and we need our elected officials on the federal, state, and the local level to act. You know, we have good friends in the legislature, like Senator Sherrod Brown, who's always taken our voice to Washington, D.C., and carrying our message. And we also have Senator Rob Portman, who was one of the leaders in the bipartisan support for the infrastructure bill that passed in the Senate. But they can't do this alone. They have to hear from us as well and make sure that they understand how important this infrastructure rebuild is for us. Our infrastructure has been ignored for way too long. Congress has been working on passing infrastructure legislation through both the Senate and the House, but we need to give them that final push to make sure that the job is done. And the things that we need to talk to them about is this massive infrastructure that we're getting ready to do in this country, which is so vital to the state of Ohio and our country. All those monies, those tax dollars that will be spent on this must be directed toward our communities. We don't want stuff made from China. We don't want stuff made from India. We don't want stuff made from Vietnam. It has to be directed to our economies and our communities. All this infrastructure stuff has to be U.S. made, U.S. made steel, U.S. made cement, U.S. made pipe, U.S. made lighting, and all the other things that we do in this country that can support this massive infrastructure rebuild. So let's join together. Let's take action. Let's tell our elected officials that our union, the United Steelworkers, is ready to supply America. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you, Brother Donnie. All right. No one's afraid of a little water, right? Nobody. We'll be fine. No one's going to melt. A little bit of a drizzle, but we'll be all right. I'm really proud to introduce our next speaker, who is no stranger to any of you here in District 1. I'm so proud to serve alongside him on our union's executive board. Please welcome International Vice President Dave Mccall.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Howdy, Randy. As Donnie said, I want to thank all of you for coming out today, and Roxy's right. There's a little bit of rain's not going to hurt any of us. Roxy, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, but more importantly, thank you for all you do in our International Executive Board, and thank you for taking on the commitment of this We Supply America effort. There can't be anything more important to us, so thank you for all you do. It's a crucial effort and one that you've taken great leadership on. And it is great to be back in Ohio today. My friend Donnie Blatt, Director Blatt, you're doing a great job. Thank you for all you do on the executive board, Donnie. And hello to all the staff, support staff, and local union members that are here. I also want to recognize Hall of Fame and thank them for providing this venue for us. Whether it's here in District 1 or all across our country, our union has always supplied America with goods and services that protect and advance our country. From steel and asphalt, concrete, generations of union workers have gone on to forge and pour those materials that are worth more than 4 million miles of public roads that crisscross our country. But for far too long, we've relied on aging infrastructure. It's a solid foundation that our parents and our grandparents built for us, and we have an obligation to be able to make sure that our kids and our grandkids have those same opportunities. Oh, no. Thank you. I'm not going to get shocked here, am I, Scott? One of the reasons why we've launched this effort is because union workers and our families will benefit, as Donnie said, from this very strong infrastructure bill. And why do we need that strong infrastructure bill? Here's a couple of examples in sort of the same manner that Director Blatt identified. When he talks about the water that we lose, 35% of the water we lose every year, as a matter of fact, we lose 6 billion gallons of drinking water in the U.S. due to leaking pipes every day. That's every day. It's enough lost water to provide clean water for over 85% of the world. The roads that we drive on are in dire shape. And the average American loses over $1,000 a year just in delays and bad roads and wasted time. We need to supply America, and it's not just about jobs. It's about the future of our country. China, right now today, spends over 3 times more on infrastructure than we do here in the U.S. We need to change this. We need to make sure that we secure our jobs and that they're good union jobs, and we need to rebuild America again. As we speak, Republicans and Democrats in Congress are debating over the largest federal infrastructure bill in this country that we've ever had. Right now, Democrats and Republicans in Congress, led by our Ohio Senators Sherrod Brown and Rob Portman, are instrumental in improving and advancing the bill. When all is said and done, it really is a bipartisan effort of $1 trillion. And in that $1 trillion, a bill would be the single largest dedicated bridge investment since the construction of the interstate highway system. Ensures every American has access to reliable, high-speed internet with union-made fiber optics. It's the largest investment in passenger rail since the creation of Amtrak 50 years ago. The bill will replace aging school buses across the country, delivering new American-made buses all across the country with dedicated funds for rural communities as well. The bill includes $17 billion in port infrastructure and $25 billion in airports to address repairs, much-needed repairs in our airports, and $55 billion in investment, the largest investment in clean water in the history of our country. Our union's been engaged at every level to make sure our members get this work, talking to both Republicans and Democrats to show how we all benefit from making this investment. Our allies in Congress fought to make sure that every dollar is covered by, as Director Blatt said, Buy American, a Buy American policy that ensures our jobs. The investments will grow the economy, and USW members and our employers will both benefit. And remember, most importantly, when people have good-paying, family-sustaining jobs, they spend and therefore grow the economy. They also grow the tax base that funds schools, first responder services, Social Security, and many of our municipal services that we all depend on. You know, it's not a sure thing. We need the House to approve it. We need to make sure it's moving forward. And you can do something as part of this by contacting your legislators and telling them, we need to supply America. We need this infrastructure bill. This is our time. This is our time to rebuild our economy, strengthen our union, and strengthen our country, both domestically and internationally as well. Thank you all very much for coming out on this very beautiful sunny day.
All right, a little raindrops don't stop no show, right? Because why? What? That's right, that's right. We're getting a little rain right now, but I'll tell you, infrastructure related, there's a big storm right now that's headed up to the Gulf and really up into the northeast part of the country. Fred, right? Superstorm Fred. We're getting a little bit of rain right now, but a lot of those communities along that storm path really need to be shored up. And they're all going to be relying on their infrastructure, all right? So this is why it's important that we're doing this. It's not just for Ohio. It's not just for our communities. It's really about the country, right? So thank you, Dave, very much for that. The power of our union really isn't all you. It's in our membership. and that's a big part of this campaign. And so here to talk a little bit more about that power and how we use it around this We Supply America campaign are Amber Miller, Rapid Response Director, and Tiffany McKee, District 1 Rapid Response Coordinator. Thank you, sisters. No.
How's everybody doing? This is great. This is like a quintessential steelworker function right here, right? So our union has a series of core issues that drive what we do every day. It's the things like healthcare, retirement security, collective bargaining, our health and safety in the workplace, job security, and domestic economic issues like infrastructure. So each one of these play out at the bargaining table in our workplaces, and all of them are shaped, good or bad, for better or for worse, by government decisions, right? So that's why rapid response kind of matters a lot, because it's our chance to have a voice in all of that. So when we talk about investing in our nation's infrastructure, it's both an economic issue that is one of our core values, and it also impacts our workplaces and job security that impacts our futures. So today we're coming together in this beautiful weather to recognize that now is the time for our nation to rebuild. Now's the time to invest in ourselves, to modernize our infrastructure, to create and sustain good-paying unionized jobs, and to make sure those jobs are USW represented. So right now and all this week, rapid response activists are meeting all over the country with legislators, and they're dropping these pledge cards. And they're dropping them as a reminder that this is not just a moment. This isn't just 1 week. We're really in this to see this through. They're making phone calls and writing emails. They're writing letters jointly with their employers. There's a lot of folks out here who have done that because they know as well that we need to show the administration and our elected officials what we do, how we can contribute, and that this is the time for investment. And we want to be at the top of the list when these investments are being made. We want them to remember us and our employers when they're thinking about these projects. So there really is a bigger picture here, and this work needs to continue past this week. So please take a moment, fill out these cards. We've got them under the table there. Tiff and I can both help you. We're going to continue to deliver these to the decision makers, to remind them so they know that America's workers deserve bold action now and good jobs, and that we supply America, right? I'm going to turn it over to Tiffany McKee. She's your District 1 Rapid Response Coordinator.
Thank you, Amber. So yeah, Amber's mentioned the pledge cards. We have a bunch of them here. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is come back to the table after we're done here and take a bunch of them back to your home locals. I'll give you my contact information. Give me a call when you have those filled out, and I'll come pick them up. While I'm there to pick them up, we're going to talk about doing a We Supply America letter from you guys and your companies, if you haven't done one yet. I think most of you guys here have got one done already, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Also, I'll give you some information on the Rapid Response Program, how important it is. We're able to gather here today because we are part of a great union. We are only able to be a part of that union because of legislation. That legislation can be taken away just as quickly as it is signed in. So rapid response is incredibly important. So I'll talk to you about the Rapid Response Program and how to build it in your local. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sisters Amber and Tiffany. All right, I just want to do a couple of quick shout outs here to some of our folks who are supplying America every single day. Shout out to Local 45B from Penteric Water, who make water pumps. There you go, brother. Thank you for supplying America. I am Amanda Stable from the Ohio AFL-CIO. Where's Amanda? Where is she? There you go, sister. And then our brothers from 51M, Johns Manfield, and they make fiberglass insulation. There you go, brothers. Thank you all for what you do. Amanda, sister, thank you for what you do at the AFL-CIO. All right, so it gives me great honor to introduce our next speaker, USW Local Union 525 President Steve Bischoff. And Steve works right here at Hall of Fame. So, Steve, where are you? There you go. All right. Welcome, Steve. We can still clap when it rains. Come on now. Welcome this brother to the stage. Thank you, Steve. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Steve Bischoff, President of Local 525 for United Steelworkers here at Hall of Fame. We're honored to host the stop of the USW's We Supply American bus tour. America's infrastructure needs to be revitalized, and Central Ohio is no exception to this need. The lighting systems we make here at Hall of Fame truly do supply America, but not just in lighting. The jobs supply our families with health care, our kids with educations, and our communities with the resources in our local economy. Our facility has been an important part of our local economy here. The USW locals at Hall of Fame make lightings for roads, bridges, and transportation systems, applications, and security, energy efficient buildings. You see right here outside some of the products that we've made in our for our local economy. Our facility has been an important part of our local economy here. Okay. And you can see outside some of the products we've made over the years. While the lighting systems we make here are a vital component of our nation's infrastructure, the work is just as vital to our families and our community. The tax base from our jobs help fund our local school districts and essential services. A portion of our paychecks support our neighbors who work at grocery stores and small businesses. We need support from our local, state, and federal leaders to invest in the funding, tools, and resources required to ensure the success of my union siblings and our families and jobs for today, for generations to come. This is an investment in the American workers. Our local is working with our company to call for these needed investments in America's infrastructure. We're happy to be here today with leadership from our union and invited guests. Our local was ready to supply America, and thank you for coming out today and supporting us, no matter how bad the weather is. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Brother Steve. All right. So we're really pleased to have this next speaker with us because, myself and Roy Hausman, who a lot of you, I think, know and got to meet today, who was our legislative director, and Anna Fenley, who's our director of regulatory and state policy, the three of us are on DC and work really hard with legislators, with policymakers in DC, both in Congress and the administration, on behalf of all of you every single day. And, while we do our work, we get to learn who's for us and who's against us. And without question, one of our strongest champions in Washington, D.C., and you all know him well, is Sherrod Brown. There is no stronger champion for workers and for manufacturing than Sherrod Brown. And unfortunately, he couldn't be with us today because, you know what? He's taken a well-deserved vacation. And so we're really happy that he's doing that, and we're happy that he sent Ellen Short, who's his Ohio Regional Director, to join us. So she's figuring out a rain plan to the stage. We didn't know that we would need rain plans to the stage, but here we go. Please welcome Ellen. Listen, everyone who comes to the stage deserves a round of applause because this is some real stuff. So please welcome Sister Ellen. Thank you, Ellen. All right, go ahead, sister.
Hello. Thank you all so much for having me. It's truly a pleasure to be here. And I do want to mention that Senator Brown has worked into the infrastructure bill that he wants to support Buy American, Made in America. So whatever infrastructure projects we work on hopefully will be entirely American made, American produced by Americans. So really excited about that. But since he couldn't be here, I'm going to read a letter on his behalf. And it reads, "Dear friends, although I cannot be with you today, I would like to extend my congratulations to United Steelworkers as you host and celebrate your We Supply America event. Workers like you built our country in the middle class. Workers laid down roadways, and railways to move people and products around the country. Women and men on shop floors, docks, and in the mines work to produce and support for their families and communities, and their drive built this nation. Their insistence that our country must ensure fair wages for an honest day's work is why Americans can enjoy a decent wage, pensions, and retirement security. The American Jobs Plan, which I supported, will help create, fix, and modernize the United States' outdated infrastructure. We must continue to make investments in America's infrastructure in order to help generate economic development and put people back to work. I honor all those workers who fought to ensure that our nation is prosperous and our middle class is strong. As champions of social and economic justice, your work to improve working conditions and health benefits will have a lasting impact not only on your workers, but on the state of Ohio. Congratulations again on this special occasion. Sincerely, United States Senator Sherrod Brown.
Thank you, Ellen. Please give her another round of applause. And Ellen, please send our regards to Senator Brown. Thank you very much. All right, so let me tell you a story about this next speaker, okay? So he worked really closely with Kim Miller and I, and Kim Miller is an assistant to the president for Tom Conway, and really my partner in good on this entire We Supply America campaign. None of this would have happened without her, so thank you, Kim Miller. Round of applause for Kim Miller as well. So Mike Knoll worked really closely with Kim and I back in 2020 during the election cycle, and was fantastic. We learned that the White House was going to be having its first in-person July 4th celebration right before, and we thought, you know, Mike, that'd be pretty cool for him to go with his son. We reach out to Mike. Mike comes to D.C. He and his son Vinny head to the White House. I come to the District 1 conference, see Mike. I said, hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Oh, I'm sorry, do I know you? So, like our McWayne brothers who were asking for autographs at the District 1 conference, Mike forgot that he knew his dear good friend Rox Brown with the Steelworkers. But we made up, we're friends again, we love each other again. And because I love this brother so much, we asked him to speak today. So please welcome Local 1237 President Mike Knoll. Come on, brother. Had to give him some shit, come on.
That was not exactly true. She was busy, and I gave her time to deal with who she was dealing with. So, hello. Good morning. My name is Mike Knoll. I'm president of USW Local 1237. Our members supply America with packaging supplies made at PCA right here in Newark, Ohio. We make container board, commonly called cardboard. It's a sustainable and recyclable product that we use to make boxes for a myriad of different customers. When I first heard of the We Supply America campaign, it was obvious to me how heavily my sector relies on infrastructure, but not as clear to me on how we contribute to it. It's obvious that we need roads and railways, bridges and waterways to receive the materials we need to make our product and to be able to move our finished product all over the continent. To achieve these things, we need elected officials to strengthen our infrastructure and protect all of our industries from predatory trade practices. When you give American workers a level playing field, we can compete with anyone in the world. I can see that our paper products will be integral in helping ship products and components to those who are doing the work to fix the physical infrastructure, but it took a pandemic for me to fully understand the paper sector's impact on infrastructure. You all lived through the great toilet paper shortage of 2020, and we don't make that kind of paper. That wasn't our fault. But the gigantic movement to online shopping, driven by the dangers of the COVID-19 virus, really shined a spotlight on how important something as simple as a box might be. You may have ordered food or clothes to avoid going out in public. You may have ordered medications for an older parent, or maybe a computer to be able to connect with family, to work from home, or for your children to continue school. All these things come in boxes. Union manufacturing jobs like ours are crucial to the everyday lives of Americans and are necessary for the physical and social infrastructure in our country. We are here today with steelworkers from across Ohio and all around the country to support the efforts being made to strengthen domestic manufacturing and protect the good union jobs we need to secure our future. When people hear the name steelworkers, their mind naturally goes to steel, but our union is very diverse, as you know. We make many of the things people use in their lives every day, and if there's a product made in America, it's very likely that there's a steelworker somewhere that makes it, or some component of it. My brothers and sisters of Local 1237 join with everyone here to celebrate all the USW does to supply America and to call for the investment we need in our nation's infrastructure. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brother Mike. I appreciate that. All right, so we haven't said it in a while, so come on, what do we do? All right, thank you, Brother Mike. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to be welcomed by another Mike who Dave Mccall mentioned earlier. Please welcome Local 9110 President Mike Bliss. Mike?
Give it to him, Mike.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Bliss. I'm the president of Local 9110, representing employees from 7 different municipalities throughout Central Ohio. So we are the public sector. We're the ones that use all the infrastructure that you all make, so we use it. I'm happy to join this stop on the union's We Supply America tour because the members of my local are infrastructure. We are part of the social infrastructure here in our part of Ohio. The members of my local make up city municipal services and maintenance workers. We ensure our sidewalks, roads, and buildings are maintained, which means we plow snow in the winter. We conduct street sweeping in the summer. We also check sewers, water lines, everything that goes into a good infrastructure. We make sure it's all working properly. And we also make sure that all the city's vehicles are in working order. We see each day that we go to work the real investments needed right here in Central Ohio and across the nation. And we have firsthand experience with what happens when physical infrastructure like roads aren't maintained. We might do all different work, but we stand here today with a common goal: to not only build our country back better, but to make sure that it's made in America. We are here because we know how interconnected we all are. My members have seen firsthand what the loss of manufacturing jobs has meant in our community and to our work as city employees. That's why we need massive federal investment in infrastructure. I agree with the other speakers here that infrastructure investments aren't just investments in roads and bridges, they're investments in American workers. We can and should repair and upgrade our aging infrastructure while bringing hope and dignity to members of my local and workers across the country. The labor and services of my members provide are vital to infrastructure, and union jobs and benefits are vital to their families. We're involved in our schools with local charities and every aspect of our community. I am proud of the work every one of my members from Local 9110 does, and proud to stand here today in solidarity with all the steelworkers as we continue to supply America. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mike. I just want to give a shout out to Teresa Cassidy for the foresight to get these plastic things for our paper, because look at this. Look at this. Look at what's happening. So thank you, sister, for the foresight. I much appreciate that. So, passing these bills and doing this work, this policy work, really requires working with partners. It's really important that we do a lot of this work together, especially big efforts like infrastructure. If it was just us, the steelworkers, doing it, I mean, we're pretty badass and we're pretty powerful, but we need help. We need partners. And so one of our best partners in this work is the Blue Green Alliance. And I'm so proud to be joined by a sister who is not just the Ohio Regional Program Manager for BGA, but she's also a steel worker. And so please welcome our sister, Lee Geiss. Lee?
I didn't get the plastic things first, so if I go completely haywire, somebody just say you're not making any sense. Again. Anyway, thank you, Director Blatt, for inviting me to attend today, and so good to see so many old and good friends. My name is Lee Geiss, a proud third-generation steelworker, and currently the boots on the ground gal for the Blue Green Alliance, a coalition that unites labor unions and environmental organizations to solve today's environmental challenges in ways that create and maintain good union jobs. Building back better is the path toward a clean, thriving, and equitable future. We need a recovery for America by America, making the products we need to repair our nation's infrastructure and rebuild American manufacturing here in Ohio and across the U.S. BGA has launched our own For America by America campaign to pressure Congress to deliver a bold recovery plan that invests in manufacturing, infrastructure, the care economy, and the clean energy for working people and our communities. And that's why we support We Supply America. I'm the last speaker here, so everybody can get a dry towel, a hot cup of coffee, or a cold beer, whatever your preference. But I want to say this. We have the best stories to tell, and we are the worst at doing it. We need to say to everyone, everywhere, on the shop floor, in the grocery store, wherever you're at, what Brock say? That we supply America. Tell your story. Be proud, be loud. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much, Lee. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I think I'm going to end on how Lee ended, because this is really about us. It's about you. It's about our union, and it's about the work that you all do every single day in your facilities to make the products that you make. It's about telling the story about what you do, right? Remember, a few weeks back ago at the conference, I think some of you had an aha moment when you realized, man, what I do really does help to make this country run. That's the story. I think we've thought about this campaign as one long commercial to tell the story of steelworker members and the impact that you all have on the economy and on this country and how you supply America. It's the reason why our new media team here, and Connie Mabin is our new media director, and Scott Weaver is the assistant director. We have Steve Dietz and Lori Bookwood. They're helping to tell your story. They're the ones that did the McWayne video and the Cleveland Cliffs video that you all saw. They're the ones who are doing all of these videos to help amplify this campaign and tell the story about steelworkers and about what we do, so that we're not lost in the conversation, this important conversation, this infrastructure bill, as our economy emerges from this 18-month period of this pandemic, where so many Americans have been devastated. This bill is an opportunity to inject just economic activity into this country, an investment into your facilities to ensure that your jobs keep going, but also that we're creating additional union jobs. This is one of the biggest investments in the American worker and American industry in our nation's history. A $1.2 trillion package and a $3.5 trillion package together. That's our money. Those are our jobs. Those are our communities. So we have to continue with our message That what? We have to continue telling our stories. That what? We have to keep doing rallies in rain because why? Thank you all so much. Thank you for the patience. We love you guys and thank you.